Hi, I'm Chaplain Joe. I'm here to get you home. I need you to prepare to live. I want to talk to you today about addictions. Hey, I got some fun ones. Of course, I'm only addicted to the stuff I like, just like you. Let's talk about the stuff that we like that is kind of killing us if we do it in excess. And of course, the big one that we all, that a lot of military are familiar with, is the big one is alcohol. So we're going to talk about alcohol and addictions. Now, if alcohol is ruining your life, or stealing your health, or stealing your morning energy, or something like that, well, then you may want to cut back. And you may want to abstain totally for a while until you get control of it. One way to get control of any addiction, especially alcohol, is to look at and see, well, what was going on in my life when I started drinking? And look around in your life and look around at that little boy or little girl that saw somebody with a drink, and then you snuck one somewhere, or somebody gave you one, or you got old enough to get it, or somehow or another you got some alcohol. You finally tasted it, and you knew you probably spit it out. It was repulsive. Your body immediately said, "Do not drink that." For other reasons, we keep drinking it. Now, one way to deal with an addiction is to look back and just kind of roll time back a little bit and look back and see what was going on in my life when I started this addictive process. If you started smoking as a kid, you started drinking, started gambling, it's like, well, what's going on? Like, let's go back to the drinking thing. Let's say, for instance, that, when this kid is 12 years old, mom and dad get a divorce, and he gets left alone a lot, and he discovers the liquor cabinet. So here we have a deep trauma for a child or for adults, and that, as a result of that deep trauma that happened during that time, alcohol became attractive. So just look around back and see what was going on in the childhood memories when the addictive substance was started. And then you can resolve that. You can use EFT tapping. Can you release yourself from any judgments? Use any tool that you can in order to resolve the trauma that was going on in your life when the addiction started. The EFT protocol for that would be, the clinical model would be, even though my mom and dad got divorced and I started drinking when I was 12, I love and accept myself completely. Even though I started this addiction when this trauma hit my life, I accept myself completely. Even though I started this addiction process as a result of this trauma, or at the same time that this trauma happened, I accept myself completely. Oh, this trauma, started the addiction, this addiction started with the trauma and addiction. I'm safe now, but I'm safe now. I got a realization that I don't need to stay in the trauma because I am safe now. So you will get a different realization concerning, as you tap that out, and then go back and check and see, is the level of trauma, how does the trauma still feel back in that memory, and go back and look with if it's smoking, go back and look and say, hey, what was I thinking about smoking? What did I think it was going to get me? How did I feel after I started smoking? Look at all those feelings and go ahead and tap all of them out. Neutralize all of them. And that's called neutralizing the feeling side of an addiction. Now, once you neutralize the feeling side of the addiction, well, then of course you need to reach for water. You need to start drinking more water. You need to start reaching for an alternative, and gradually discipline yourself. If you can discipline yourself all at once, great. If not, gradually start to adjust your behavior and use some self-discipline on yourself in this area where addictions are concerned, because that helps to agree with what you're doing in your heart. Now, if you're just trying to discipline yourself and just be strong, well then, you're just being strong. Great, I'm glad you're strong. However, if you are working on the internal processes first and you're weeding out those nasty things that are stealing your strength, well then you'll find it a lot easier to discipline the physical side because you can take out those emotional energy stealers, those emotional roots, and you will find them by just looking at what was going on when the addiction started. That's one possible reason that for an addiction.